But fuck it, man. It don't even matter, bro. This shit is just so in me. I'm so built for this shit that I don't even have to even look at the notes that I prepared for this episode, gang. Let's turn the fuck up. What's the word, YouTube? I'm Kaylee, and I'm coming at you with a video today, and we're gonna be talking about how to find your purpose. This is a fairly easy topic, but it seems hard because of the day and age that we live in. Let me explain. Trying to find out what you want to do in life, it can seem very hard just thinking about it and, just being stuck in the middle of your life and having no guidance or no type of direction. But that's only because in today's day and age, I promise you, finding your purpose is not as hard as people make it seem. The reason right now you and a lot of other people probably around your age as well that don't know what they want to do in life is because they're distracted. If you can think about your own life right now and you don't know what the next 5 years are going to look like, even if you're in college and you don't know what you're going to even do with that degree, that's a very bad place to be in. But after this video, you're going to figure out the steps that you need to know exactly to be able to know what you're going to do with your life and what your purpose is and what you're going to dedicate your life to and what your real motion is and what God blessed you with and what your calling is. Damn fucking helicopter. Oh my God. After this video, you're going to know exactly what you need to do in your day-to-day life so you can get that much closer to figuring out what it is that you need to do with your life and what your calling is and what you're here for. There are a lot of mysteries in this world, but your purpose and what your calling is doesn't have to be one of them. The only way to be able to find your purpose is by spending time with yourself. If I ask you to tell me about yourself and it takes more than a few seconds for you to give me an answer, then you do not know yourself at all. And millions of people are like this. This is not just you. A lot of people don't really know about themselves at all like that. Right now, we're in a world full of distraction, the matrix or whatever some people may call it. But whatever, at the end of the day, everybody agrees you're in a world that's meant to distract you so it can stop you from finding what you're really here for. Everything that we indulge in on a day-to-day basis, from social media to video games to the shit we watch on Netflix, all of these distractions are put in our faces to prevent us from figuring out who it is that we really are. After a while of overindulging on these very same things, I started to notice that these things weren't really benefiting me at all. If anything, these are literally just distractions and just to take you away from the real world. If you do 5 hours of scrolling on social media, you don't walk away with anything from that. You really just wasted a bunch of your time. But if you sat there and spent that 5 hours with yourself, that's 5 hours of your brain going through its thoughts, going through its cycles, figuring itself out. What you have to understand is the idea of humans having free choice is simply just an illusion. Every human is born with a designated purpose and calling that is born within their hearts. No matter where they're placed on the world, no matter what they go through, these same callings and these same ideas are going to be popping up into these people's heads, into your head too. The reason we don't know ourselves, even though the answers are within us, is because we keep giving our attention to these outside sources, aka social media, video games, shit we watch, etc. So when you're spending 8 hours a day grinding on video games, on social media, watching Netflix all day, looking at other people's lives and watching them fulfill their purpose and their calling, you are taking time away from yourself and your brain to sit there and go through all the thoughts, ideas, and rummage that go through your subconscious, to go through the process of elimination to figure out what it is that you are here for. So to be able to really tap into this power, you're gonna have to cut all of these outside sources off. And that means sitting there in boredom with no social media scrolling on your phone, no watching other people's lives on Netflix, no going on YouTube, no grinding accomplishments on video games that are not going to translate into the real world. You have to sit there and really sit with yourself and sit in that boredom and really study yourself. And it's not really that intense and it's not really that hard, like you're really studying yourself, but you're sitting in boredom. You're letting all of your thoughts and your ideas that have been embedded within you come up to the surface, and you're allowing your brain to solve them and figure it out. The reason you don't know what you want to do with your life right now is because you haven't given yourself enough time for your brain to go into that idea, into that thought, and to figure it out and to solve it. And the only way that you're going to truly be able to achieve that is by sitting with yourself with no outside distractions and really getting to know who you are as a person. Grinding video games all day, being on social media, watching YouTube, smoking your life away, All of these things are not going to help you figure out who you are in the slightest. It's a reason why they don't want you to figure out who you are. It's a reason why they want you on social media and playing all these video games and overindulging in these low inferior activities. And there's nothing wrong with being a genuine connoisseur of movies. There's nothing wrong with playing a little video games on the side. But when you're sitting there and spending the majority of your time on these things and you don't even know what it is that you want to do with your life, that's a very big problem. And I'm here to sit there and level you up and make sure that you know what you're doing and you're not wasting your time without knowing what it is that you're here even for. Every time you sit on that phone and you scroll away and you're lying down on your bed, your brain literally stops working. All the thoughts and ideas that are roaming through your mind that are supposed to have been figured out years ago have been put on pause and significantly slowed down because you keep constantly giving all of your attention, all of your awareness, all of your mental prowess and power to the idea of grinding a video game character, to watching another person's life, to being on social media. And your brain literally does not work when you're doing these things, guys. But you could go and test it for yourself. Go on social media and scroll for 30 minutes and really sit there and analyze your brain. Get into the art of meditation. Really sit there and figure out how to read and see your own thoughts, guys. Because I'm telling you, you'll quickly realize that when you're on these things, your brain is not really working the way that it's supposed to. So once you finally take away your attention from these outside sources and you put it back within yourself, you finally focus on yourself, you finally put that attention back within, then your brain starts to come up with all these different thoughts and ideas, all these different traumas and all these different pains, and it's going to hurt. It's going to be boredom. It's going to not be the funnest thing in the world. But the thing is that's what it's going to take to sit there and really solve the answers that you need to figure out in life to be able to succeed, to be the best version of yourself, to be an elite person. And then once you finally are at peace with not giving your attention to these outside sources, then you're finally going to be able to pay attention to your body and figure out what are the things that you naturally like to do. You're going to figure out your natural hobbies and passions and your natural inclinations and advantages out in the world. Me personally, as soon as I stopped going on social media and I stopped going on YouTube and I stopped giving a fuck about all these other people besides myself, I started to figure out all these things that I was interested in. I figured out that I'm musically inclined. I figured out I had a passion for knowledge. I figured out that I had a passion for speaking. And the reason that I grew up using a lot of big words and had an extensive vocabulary is because I naturally was able to articulate myself better than most people. And that's something that I wouldn't have known about myself or would have even paid attention to if I didn't put the phone down, if I didn't pursue the knowledge and have things to fuel myself to then talk about, guys. And everybody's life is different. Everybody's journey is different. Nobody walks the two same steps. So what my 24 hours looks like away from social media might not look like yours at all. What my 24 hours away from social media might not look like yours at all. And that's perfectly fine because me and you are two different people with two different callings and purposes. And you're not going to figure it out what it is that you were sent here for until you start walking your own path and you start living in your, until you start living in your own until you start living in your own boredom, deconstructing your day from all of these outside activities and start focusing on yourself and building yourself within and figuring out all these answers and solving all the unresolved questions within your head. That's how you find your purpose, and that's how you do it today, guys. Being the person that knows their purpose, being the person that knows their calling and what they're sent here for is a very hard thing. It's a very hard thing, and it's not easy to find. And the reason is because it takes a lot of work. And with all of these outside distractions and things to ease the pain and things to alleviate and soften your hustle, it's very easy to sit there and forget about what you were really here for to begin with. And no matter how many times you distract yourself, no matter where you place yourself in the world, you're still going to have these same problems. You're still going to have these same thoughts and ideas, and you're still going to have these same natural inclinations and advantages that you're going to find about yourself because God planted a purpose in all of us when we were all born. All of us have a reason for being here. All of us have an innate motion. All of us have an innate advantage. All of us have an innate thing that we could pop our shit about that could really make us who we are and really make this life valuable. But all these outside distractions is what's ruining us. So once we take those away, that's how we're going to find our answers. I'm hot as fuck, boy. Man, y'all done see me sweating and shit. Next time I got to fucking bring a rag out here. But you know, this is what this shit calls for. You know what I'm saying? We outside, we hustling. You know what I'm saying? We get into this shit. It's just what it calls for. but this shit just another day, man. But with that being said, make sure that you like and subscribe, and also comment down below if there's anything that you want to add to this video or anything that you felt that we missed out on. I'm on a personal journey to become the best version of myself and become elite in all endeavors of life, and I'm here to take you with me on the process and bring you up with me. If you guys like what you see, show support, follow the social medias, run this shit up, man. We'll catch y'all in the next video. Let's get it.